tragedy in Egypt. At least 6 people killed, including children. New information tonight and the urgent investigation into how this happened. Here's ABC's Trevor Ault.
At least 6 people are dead tonight, including 2 children, after a tourist submarine sank off the coast of Egypt. 50 people were on board when the underwater sightseeing boat crashed into a coral reef, according to an early investigation. The urgent rescue operation unfolding in the Red Sea near the popular resort of Hurghada. Dozens pulled from the water. Local officials visiting survivors in the hospital. At least 23 people injured. Authorities say all those killed were Russian nationals. The submarine seen in this promotional video, it can dive up to 80 feet underwater. It's not clear if the vessel that sank today was fully submerged at the time. Videos taken on previous trips show how tourists would climb down the hatch in the tight quarters once inside.
And as the investigation is ongoing now, all the crew members are being interviewed with.
Trevor Ault, thank you. 2 Americans injured in a stabbing rampage in Amsterdam, a 67-year-old woman and 69-year-old man, according to police. The 2 among 5 total victims attacked around the city center. No word on how serious the injuries are. A suspect was arrested. A motive has not been released. There is news just coming in tonight. King Charles was sent to the hospital today. The palace saying this followed his ongoing treatment for cancer. Chief International Correspondent James Longman joins us now from London. And James, what more are you learning?
Yeah, the palace announced late tonight that King Charles was taken to the hospital briefly today after he experienced side effects from his ongoing cancer treatment. Now, they called these side effects temporary, but they were serious enough that the king required a short period of observation in the hospital. He is now back home, but as a precautionary measure, all his engagements tomorrow have been cancelled. The king's cancer diagnosis was made public in February last year, but he has been back to full official duties for some time. The palace says they do not anticipate major changes to the schedule. A state visit by Italy should go ahead in just over a week's time. With
many thinking about the king's health tonight. James, thank you. A high-level American delegation led by Vice President J.D. Vance is heading to Greenland. President Trump insisting the U.S. will, quote, go as far as we have to go to gain control of the island. ABC's senior national correspondent Terry Moran is there. And Terry, this has really become a high-stakes visit.
Yeah, this is a dramatic moment in the struggle for Greenland. Vice President Vance is going to be visiting a U.S. Space Force base in the far north of Greenland, but his message is much bigger. The administration is arguing that Greenland, which is part of Denmark, has been neglected by the Danes and by previous U.S. administrations, and Greenlanders would be better off under U.S. ownership. This is a wild land. It's rich in rare earth materials, and it sits along strategic sea lanes that are opening up from climate change, and Russia and China see that too. But right now, most Greenlanders reject Trump's goals. The foreign minister saying that if the vice president visits a town here, he'll be greeted by chants of Yankee go home.
All right, Terry Moran, thanks so much. Next tonight, the White House is acknowledging that a mistake was made when top administration officials used a Signal app group chat to discuss details ahead of military strikes in Yemen. That chat mistakenly including a reporter from the Atlantic magazine. The Attorney General today downplaying the severity of the incident, implying the Justice Department will not be investigating. But there are bipartisan calls in Congress for accountability. Here's ABC News Chief Global Affairs Correspondent Martha Raddatz.
Tonight, the top Republican and Democrat on the Senate Armed Services Committee calling for an investigation into the group chat on the Signal app where Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth revealed detailed information about the military strike on Yemen. A reporter mistakenly added to the chat. The senators say the episode raises questions as to the use of unclassified networks to discuss sensitive and classified information. President Trump says he doesn't know whether or not classified information was shared.
I don't know. I'm not sure. You'll have to ask the various people involved. I really don't know.
Secretary Hegseth insists it wasn't.
Nobody's texting war plans.
What's not in dispute is that hours before U.S. air and missile strikes were launched, Hegseth told the group, including that reporter, detailed information, including which aircraft would be involved, what time they would be launched, and exactly when the bombs would drop. For days, the White House downplayed the security breach, but today, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt acknowledging a mistake was made. pointing the finger at National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, who created the group chat and added the reporter inadvertently.
Well, we have never denied that this was a mistake, and the National Security Advisor took responsibility for that, and we have said we are making changes.
The Attorney General did make it clear today that the Justice Department will not be investigating, but military officers we have spoken to remain dumbfounded that Hegseth shared details of the attack hours before it happened, and pilots telling us it could have put crews flying those missions at far greater risk. Whit?
Martha Raddatz on this story again tonight. Thank you. An urgent recovery mission is underway. 4 soldiers from Fort Stewart, Georgia, missing from a training exercise in Lithuania. Their 70-ton vehicle, located submerged in a pond. Thick forests and challenging terrain are hampering efforts. Hundreds of U.S. and Lithuanian soldiers have been helping in those efforts. When we come back here tonight, an arrest after a fiery attack at a Tesla dealership, what police say they found in the suspect's home, and the charges he's now facing. Plus, the top doctor accused of trying to push his wife over a cliff in Hawaii. What happened in the courtroom today for the first time? Matt Gutman reports, coming up.